Hey everyone, it's Dylan with CT Aquatics, and today I'm going to be unboxing the Regal 200S Protein Skimmer from Reef Octopus. So there's a few reasons that I chose this Reef Octopus Skimmer for our frag system. The first reason is that I actually have a similar Regal 200 on our main display tank here at CT Aquatics, and it is by far my favorite skimmer that I have on any of the tanks. It is a great product. So that's reason number one. Number two, this system is controlled by a Hydros controller, and being that Coral View makes both this skimmer and the Hydros, you can actually control this skimmer with the Hydros. So that's another benefit. We are not sponsored by Coral View or by anybody, so this is entirely my opinion. But out of all the skimmers that I use, like I said, the Reef Octopus one is my favorite anyways. So I want to put a good quality skimmer on this system. So I haven't actually used this specific skimmer. This is the space-saving version, so the pump is inside the skimmer body. The one that I currently have, the pump is outside of the skimmer body, but they should still work similarly. So just gonna start cutting this box open, and we'll show you what comes with the unit. So inside, right on top, you're gonna find some instructions and some warnings and a nice Reef Octo sticker. You're also gonna find your gate valve and your bubble plate. So I'm gonna set these aside, and then I'll pull the first layer of foam out. Under the first layer, now we'll find the skimmer cup, the skimmer body, and finally, our Varios 4S pump. I'm gonna get the box out of the way, and then I'm gonna assemble the unit. So I've gone ahead and taken everything out of the packaging, and now we can start to assemble the unit. So to start, I'm going to take the skimmer body, and I'm going to loosen up these thumb screws. You shouldn't have to take them out all the way, as this body can actually twist off and separate just like that. Next, I'm just going to pull the controller out of the box with the pump. I'm actually not going to need this today, as I'm going to be controlling this skimmer with my Hydros, but you may need this if you don't have a Hydros. Here's the power adapter for the pump. Here's the pump. Looks like they've upgraded it a little bit from the previous version that I have. Here's the float switch for the skimmer cup. And finally, here is the actual power cord. All right, so assembly is pretty straightforward. We're going to disassemble the bubble plate. We're going to take this red ring off of the top of our pump. And then the bubble plate is going to sit on top of the pump just like that. Now this red ring can be screwed back on, securing the bubble plate in place. And then we can use the spacer Drop the screw in through the middle of the bubble plate, and then screw it down in place. It has a little notch on the side here for lining it up so that you know you're putting it the correct way. And then it just screws down like that, pretty simple. And now the bubble plate is attached to the pump. Now this is most likely going to actually be turned around like this, with the pump coming the opposite way of the notch, because there's a notch on here for the wire to go through. There should be another screw in the bag somewhere. I think it's this small one. This little flathead, and I believe that's what attaches the plate to the pump, or the pump to the plate. Yes. So I'm just using my thumbnail instead of a screwdriver right now, but I'm going to tighten this down to make sure it's secure with an actual screwdriver. I'm gonna grab that right now. So you want to make sure that it's tight, but not too tight. You don't want to strip the threads or the head of the screw. It is plastic, but now that's secure, and with the rubber feet, that should prevent any vibrations. So now we have the pump and the bubble plate attached to the base plate. Now we can build the skimmer body. So we have the body right here, and there's a few parts that we need. We'll need the air silencer, the silencer clip, and the screw to hold that in place, the gate valve, along with the clear elbow. We're gonna put the hole up and slide that in. This is what's going to control our water level. So I will attach this air clip, the air silencer clip. Again, you need a flathead screwdriver for this, and you don't need to over tighten it by any means. Just make sure that it's snug. Now we can install our air silencer. This body's tapered, so you just need to put it in enough so that it's snug. You don't want to make it too tight. So now at this point, we can attach the base plate and the body. You want to make sure that the hole for the pump lines up with the actual pump input. And now we can tighten down the thumb screws. And at this point, you should be able to slide in this gray pump input. It's made tight enough where you don't even need an O-ring. It just slides right in and locks into the pump. No screws required. Now at this point, we can take one length of the tubing that it gives us and attach it to our input. Are these the same? One of them is thicker than the other. And longer. I believe this is actually for drainage. Yeah, and then this is going to be the air tube. So I'm just going to slide it over the input on the pump. take my air silencer, attach the tube to the bottom there, and then slide it in like that. At this point, I'm going to add my gate valve, and I want to keep it tight to the body. This way it saves as much space as possible in the sump. And then all that's left to do, put the float valve on the lid and put the top on to the skimmer. This float switch should just pull right through. Now that we've got the float switch installed, put the top on. Comes with this elbow for draining, plus it has a plug that you can use to plug the end of the hose so it doesn't leak out everywhere. So it should look something like that. And then this can attach on like that. But this is not required. You can always just leave the plug in the bottom of the tube as it comes. So at this point, the skimmer is assembled, and now we are ready to add it to our hydros. So instead of plugging in our power cable to the controller that comes with the skimmer, I've already bought an adapter, and this is going to plug right into my hydros controller. So we'll do that now. So now I've got the skimmer over next to the sump. I'm going to get it installed, and then I'll plug it into our hydros controller. It's going to go into port 4 right here, and I'm going to configure that port to run a skimmer. So I'm going to just open my phone temporarily. We're going to look at skimmer. It is overridden to off, which is good. At this point, I know that I've already configured port 4. I've got this Reef Octo adapter on here. There we go. There we go. I'm going to take the lid off for this just so I can get as much room as possible. It is a little tight in here. Need a little bit more space. My heaters are in the way. I'm just going to reconfigure some stuff real quick. Alright, so twisting the skimmer into place seemed to get it to fit in this tight area. Let's see if I can get it towards this side a little more. Alrighty, I am happy with that. I don't want to turn it on quite yet, as the system is not running yet. So I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to turn the system back on, which may make a little bit of noise. That's currently why it's off. And then I'll just make sure that the skimmer stays off until the water in the sump has gotten to normal level. So set it back to normal. Okay, so now that the tanks are running and the sump level has adjusted, it still is a little bit, the water level is still a little bit high for this skimmer, which is okay because we can always turn it down. It is a DC pump, and I'm gonna get a plate just to lift it up a little bit so that the skimmer, it's going to be pretty high. I'm going to put the start right now by putting the skimmer cup in place. So if I lift this up, I'm only going to be able to get an inch, maybe 2. So I might have to just run the pump a little low just because of how tight this is. But anyways, now at this point, I have my Hydros app up. I've already configured the skimmer on here. So all I have to do is go to my input and go to auto. And now we should see a beautiful foam head starting. So I am going to go in here. I have it set at constant speed 100%. I'm going to start it at 40% and see what that does. Okay, so 40% is running. There's no noticeable foam head. I'm gonna just go a little bit higher. Again, I'm not trying to tune it in right now. I'm just trying to get the pump running and some foam just to break in the pump and the whole skimmer body. So, all right, it seems like 50% or 60% is going to do it. I think that's, so the foam is low. It's not gonna give me any skimmate, but at least the pump and everything is running. So in another week or so, I'll come back and tune it in. So there you go. You've gotten to see me unbox and set up the Regal 200S protein skimmer from Reef Octopus and hook it up to our Hydros on our new frag system. Thanks for watching. And remember, if you enjoy our content, please like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications to join us on our journey through the sea.